Well, hello, hello, hello. Heidi, 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 hi. I am interjecting video wise into this blog post. So here I am, Giulio Buglianti, interjecting, sticking my own face within my blog post on Substack. Because it's, I just was thinking about something. I'm doing this thing now about the big event sports, global sports business ecosystem, which is incredibly interesting. I could barely scratch the surface of it. It's so deep, it's ridiculous. But for many, many, many years, long time, decades, I've been saying to friends of mine that, pro sports, circuses, is the canary in the coal mine in terms of our global empire, our system, especially in terms of global capitalism and so on. It's such a huge and important business domain, and it's so incredibly powerful and lucrative. And it's run by global cartels, monopolies, business empires, and so on. And it's also, I was thinking about the UFC the other day. It's kind of a lottery business for the players, the sportsmen and women involved with these games. It's very gladiatorial because at the end of the day, most of the linemen in the NFL or hockey players or UFC fighters, they like mixed martial arts. They want to fight. They enjoy the competition. They like the training. But generally, it's just like going to Hollywood because you want to be the next Brad Pitt. Uh, it's a gamble. It's a lottery, basically. So what bosses like Dana White are counting on is that lottery mentality. I'm going to buy a ticket to the show. I'm going to do everything I can to get into the UFC. Then I'm going to struggle financially and physically and emotionally to try to hang in there and make a buck in this organization with the outside chance that I become the next Conor McGregor or, you know, the next big thing, Ronda Rousey or whatever. The next big NFL quarterback, and then I'll be super, super rich. And that's what everybody's hoping for. The chances are very slim that you get there, and you're probably not going to have the best time. There are no benefits, right? There's no pension, there's no health care, nothing like that. But the idea, we live in a lottery society anyway. And are you not entertained? We will borrow money to buy a ticket to the show. We'll go into debt for that. And we'll bet on these sports with the hope of making it big, right? That's one of the cons in our system is this idea that you could be one of the winners, the lucky winners. And in your mind, it's because you're a great player. You made all the right decisions and you had the right timing and you said the right prayers and did the right rituals and had the right little trinkets and you got lucky. But anyway, on top of that, I didn't put that in the piece and I was thinking about it, is this thing with what's going on with the world war right now. So all of these wars were ginned up by the U.S. Trust me. If you read anything, if you study anything decent about the shenanigans that have been going on for decades, for generations, you'll come to that conclusion if you're honest. But anyway, all of these wars right now, wars of choice to defend global capitalism, globe cap, are profoundly damaging to everything, to the whole circuses element of things. But the reason I wanted to slap this video into this blog post was I was thinking, talking to my friend at lunch, the thing I'm really worried about is that the war is still going in the Middle East with Iran. Maybe Tehran's been nuked or whatever. And, let's say there's 100,000 deaths now in Syria and Lebanon. And, Gaza is totally emptied out, and they're working away on the West Bank. And they're still taking bets on shooting children in the head. And everybody just goes to the World Cup. Trump has ICE out on the street in force. It's all very fascistic, but it's like the World War II Berlin Olympics, right? Everybody still goes, and people have a great time. They stand in line. They spend huge amounts of money on tickets and hotels and transportation. They go through these horrific security lines at U.S. airports because nobody's gotten paid for half a year. And so they have to send ICE agents or police officers, or, in there to do the job. And there are still all these like aviation accidents in the U.S. For some reason, who knows, the greatest country, the most powerful country in the world. And they seem to have more accidents than other places, if you want to look it up. Also, LA County has had more crime than Portugal and Spain put together. Just choose a period of time and do your comparisons, whatever. But anyhow, the point is that all the global fans just bend over backwards to go because it's the World Cup, and people are getting nuked and murdered all over the place to protect GlobeCap, to protect FIFA, and all these other corporations, Fox, and all these other companies in the big sports business ecosystem. And everybody just goes anyway. That's going to be profound if that happens. That's going to really blow my mind and make me feel really sad. But anyhow, it probably will be that way. And that's why it's such a canary in the coal mine, because when we get to the time where people can't afford to go to these big events anymore, and the world is so messed up, and people are starving to death en masse around the world, that nobody wants to go to these shows anymore. They're just too tired, and they just can't afford it anymore. And we'll have gotten to that point where we could have used our agency to make better models of the future and try to implement them in the present. And we didn't do it because, hey, it's the 2026 FIFA World Cup, dude. We just ignore everything else. That's sad. Okay, Julio BMT out.